Hello, and welcome to Conscious Curiosities, where we unlock the wisdom of the universe which lies within us. I'm Maria Luz, your host, an astrologer, hypnotist, and psychic medium, and I'm happy to introduce these little bonus episodes. I've been releasing every Friday on my Substack a casual audio, and the topic is life. It is started out as talking about my recovery from alcohol addiction, and it quickly morphed into more how to get through life in order to feel free, which I think we all enjoy. And I've had a lot of good feedback, so I thought I would share these on my podcast. If they are not your thing, feel free to stick with the main episodes where I talk more about mystical things and astrology. Thanks, and I appreciate you listening. Hello, and welcome to Friday. Congratulations for making it through another week. I was looking back at my first year of sobriety journal, and I had written down this quote from Cory Muscara, who, if you're not familiar with, look him up. He's a wise, wise person, and you can subscribe and just get daily texts or get on his email list. But anyway, he's super interesting, and I think I started listening to him when he had a podcast, maybe before, must have been before I even started trying to get sober. Anyway, the quote said, "Know what it feels like in your body for your yes, your no, and your maybe. So know what those feel like in your body." So I think, in other words, it's a way to get to know your intuition. And I wrote that down because at the time I had no idea how to differentiate those feelings, because I had been overriding them and just doing whatever the role required of me. And I I was thinking about that, also in relation to something totally unrelated and weird, but I'd been I'd been rewatching Northern Exposure because now it's on Amazon Prime, and that was back in the 90s, the show in the 90s. Love it. And they filmed it up here in Washington State. Um, anyway, I was rewatching it, and then I learned that they had a rewatch podcast with the two main stars of the show. Um, and those people are Morrow and Janine Turner. So anyway, I started listening, and their voices sound like pretty much the same. But on one episode, they said, "Oh, we also are on YouTube if you want to watch it." So I'm curious, and I wanted to see, like, oh, what do these people look like now, all these years later, and also some of their guest stars who are just these amazing actors. And um, Janine Turner, she's a beautiful woman and always has been. I think she was probably in her 20s back in the 90s. She's, I think, 60 now, or maybe early 60s. Um, but clearly she's done all the things to not look her age, and to look a certain way in a certain beauty standard. And they honestly have this running joke of, like, "Oh, what's your hair going to be like this week?" Because she's always changing her hair color and style. And again, if I love that, if that's her natural expression. All the other things I'm not so sure about are natural, and I can't be in her head, so I don't know. But it did make me think about, oh my gosh, if I would have kept going on that path of just doing whatever is required to play the part. And I honestly had started equating that with the road to happiness. But of course, that's not true. So I was only getting more and more unhappy the more I leaned into excelling in whatever part I was playing. So anyway, when I saw her, I thought, "Oh my gosh, that could have that could have been me," and it also led me to this conversation um, just that organically came up yesterday. I met a new friend who's a Substack subscriber, and we met in a writing class. Actually, I've met two of my really, really good friends in a writing class, and so anyway, we met for coffee because we're both kind of in the Seattle-ish area, and she was saying how, oh yeah, you're like, again, no judgment, but your picture on like your profile picture, like you look nothing like that now, and the energy is just different, something like that. Sorry if I'm jumbling up your words, but but yes, I that was taken in the spring of 2023. I was about 4 months sober and on the pink cloud, and I was just like kind of awakening to freedom. And it was for work headshots, like for the different things they use your picture in and for being a speaker at things. But the photographers just said, oh, bring some more casual clothes. And so I did. I brought that's what's on my profile picture, like this pink sweater and these huge earrings. But I still had my like Farrah Fawcett hairdo and all the things. But I was inside. I had started that transformation, and even though it doesn't look like it on the outside, and now here I am 2 years later, and now my outsides have caught up to where I've been transforming. And so, yeah, all of this rambling to say that maybe practice that. Like, what does it feel like in your body? And everybody feels it, I think, maybe in a different place. Or it depends, on the situation. You might feel it in your gut. You might feel it in your throat. You might feel it in your heart. When you feel a strong yes or a strong no or a maybe. Um, and I did get to practice it yesterday for a certain situation, but that'll be maybe for next time. I am wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.